Hi everyone, welcome to day 13. I'm very interested in mediumship and the paranormal and like the interesting ways when it comes to our souls and energy never being created nor destroyed. I think that our souls are not really intact. My soul that inhabits this body right now, when I pass away, I think that soul doesn't necessarily stay intact. All the changes to that soul that needed to be done within my lifetime, was done to the best of my ability, right? And I think that soul is then used in whatever way that needs to be embodied next, but in different embodiments. So not that my soul goes to fully intact to another human or whatever it is. It's okay, well, this human needs a little bit of this insect needs some of this. I don't know, that's just kind of how I thought about it. I feel like now that I'm not so concerned about what happens after death, I feel like I'm more open to all these ideas, and it just makes it less, it's not even scary. It's just less intense in a way. I do feel like I had some experiences, which I feel like was my dad's soul, almost right after he passed away. And then 2 weeks later after he passed away. I mean, I don't know, maybe souls, some souls stay whole, for a part of the time, maybe right after they die, souls stay whole. Or maybe it's a combination of everything. Maybe some souls stay whole throughout all their lifetimes. Or maybe some stay whole for some time and then split out to the different entities that need that kind of soul growth parts. I don't know. I was just looking at someone had zoomed out and there was a space image of Earth. And I was just that's just our souls. I just feel like there's so much, our bodies are in constant motion, right? Our blood, everything is constantly moving. That kind of energy that we create over time has to be used and has to go towards something. And maybe the soul is large enough to embody, in a sense, all the trillions and bajillions of energy units that are created for each cell that's created, or each cell that dies, or that's shedded, or whatever it is. I don't know. I just feel like the energy, I feel like we're very close to those things. I feel like there's definitely ways to tap into those liminal spaces and not make it into a religious thing. I mean, it definitely can be, but more is just another dimension of who we are, which I know that is not a new idea, but I don't know. I don't know what the fascination is with just wanting to be able to speak to people or entities of the light across the veil. I've always been so fascinated by it. And I don't imagine that, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are, so many people are. Anyways, my point of saying all of this is that I was thinking about the whole ancestor thing. I see a lot of people working on ancestor path work, and I have I think it's called the Ancestral Tarot by Julia Cuccia Watts, and it's so good. It's so stunning. And I don't know, even though I've had experiences with my father and there was someone else there that like, even before I said anything, she immediately like was like, that was your dad. And she looked terrified. She looked terrified. And I was just kind of like, huh. And I don't know. But I want to like tap into that kind of realm, I guess, the ancestral realm. And it doesn't have to be one person specifically or my bloodline. I kind of want to tap into the ancestral lineages of all of us and what the common message is for us right now. And today I did not pre-pick cards, but I'm just going to pick the first three. The Seven of Shells, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Patience. I mean, thinking about the traditional idea of the Seven of Pentacles, it's like, I mean, when you look at the next card, it's like, I guess, patience is a good word. I think it's also, I think it's also a sense of like being like broken in a way, like again, just a community and community largely like what's going on in our world. And of course, I'm only like focusing on the things that I find interesting. So it seems like a lot of things are broken and have been broken for a long time. And this whole like idea of meritocracy is false. It was never true. And the idea that things can only be done one way has been very convincing for a very long time. And I guess like in the last 40 years in this country, politically, it's been like legalized and it's been very like hush hush. Because I feel like the people in power represent a very silent, small minority of people who have a ton of money and hence are kind of like the quiet like power centers behind like the Bushes, for instance, or all these companies, you know, like the Koch brothers. And, you know, we didn't really even know about them until, what is it? At least I didn't until the Bush administration. Bush 2, I think, is when I was old enough to really start getting interested in this stuff. But so my point of saying all of this is that it's not going to be fixed overnight. And the people who are in positions of a lot of money and can still couch greed under, well, I'm a business owner, I'm a CEO, I know I'm an expert in this field, so I should get paid for my expertise that not very many people have, which most of this stuff, like, I think you have to be bright, right? Which I think a lot of people can be and can learn things, and you have to have the tenacity. And there's a lot of like, I'm not saying it's easy to get to these people's positions, but to like when you tank markets and to be getting like 400 million in severance pay is like, it's like a cosmic joke. It's hilarious. And that's because all of us give so much value to currency right now. So they have a vested interest, the people at the top, of holding on to that power. Because I'm sure that when you're in that position, you're then taking a bunch of people along with you, not just the people who work for you and make $50,000 a year, but everyone else, you know, like people that have contributed to your getting, like securing the CEO position, lobbyists, politicians, like it's all so intertwined. And maybe people that have known that you've done like a couple of shady, like what could amount to insider trading. So I think that here it's like ancestrally with some old wisdom energy that I think still belongs here, that we can all tap into. They're saying that it's coming, like things are going to be rectified, but to be patient. The next one I pulled is Strength. In this deck, it's card 11. What a beautiful card. Oh, so pretty. And I think it takes a lot of strength for people to finally voice their frustrations on the community level, because we've been trained to not speak publicly about our opinions if they're different from our families, if they're different from our cultures, if you know, this idea of selling out or throwing people under the bus, or not speaking about a company negatively, or, you know, like a lot of us have just been in fear about that, or just like talking about your past that maybe wasn't perfect, in terms of like, maybe you're in recovery like I am, you know, like for years and years and years, I don't want to talk about it. One, because I was very protective of that time. And two, I was just really embarrassed because I did so many things in my mind that were just like, oh my God, I can never look at these people in the face. And which, you know, a lot of them, like I've ran into a couple of people and I kind of like walked the other way. Or like there was one instance where I saw an old boss and she like kind of looked at me and she just like turned around and like walked away. So I guess I could go both ways. And anyways, so it takes strength to like really voice these things. It takes strength to voice these things without being retaliatory, and to find community in it, and to scale that power of community and the desire to change without being like, without being vindictive or angry, or like you're taking something away from like your family by doing that. And it takes strength to be patient. It takes strength to be like the adult in the room. I mean, you can be the adult in the room and still want to revolutionize everything. You can be the adult in the room and like work through the system in order to change it. That also takes a lot of strength. And the last one is the Mother of Cups, which is the Giver. Okay, so the Mother of Cups is the Knight, the Knight of Cups. And this is a very cute card with the babies and the flowers and the like mandala lotus thing in the middle, and then it looks like the astrology, like an astrology wheel or chart around there. So I think what we're also being reminded of here is that not that I feel like when you're kind of not the ones in power, like you're kind of like working within the systems that exist, and you're kind of like in the middle, let's just say middle class. I'm actually surprised that this card showed up to a certain extent, because I feel like just by virtue of being in this class, you're giving a lot anyway, and you're getting things in return. So I'm not saying to not have gratitude, but you're not being given what's due to you. So having this message like from old wisdom keepers, right? Or I'll just say wisdom, like the energy of the wisdom keeper is surprising. Other than the Mother of Cups can also be very creative, like very fertile with ideas. And I think that it's the onus of the people who are ready to like start voicing things, to start organizing, to talk about their own stories, and have the patience and the strength to listen to others, and to like understand what the system is right now, and push people into explaining what they're doing and why prices are a certain way, and to really, really understand the nitty gritty and have these people that impose these prices and costs upon us, upon everybody else, have them explain exactly what it is. And it's hard doing that because people are just going to give you like maybe 60% of the answer. And one of the points is to wear you down, to where like they, leave you in a waiting line on the phone for like an hour, and then you have to call back next week, and then nobody will get back to you. Then you have to write an email, and then it's like exhausting. So I think here it's like, it's like having that sense of wanting to share the things that you know with other people, but also giving yourself that nurturing. And I think the idea, like a lot of us, I don't want to say a lot, but like I was looking at Trump's pics, and just like the Indian people, like Harmeet, is that her name? Is it Harmeet? Harmeet Dillon. And then the other lady. Anyways, they don't have children. Most of these people are Ivy League educated, which is what Trump and all his people were basically devaluing the value of education. I mean, I know people might say that it was like public education that he was talking about, but anyways, whatever. I think he was just talking about higher education. And these are like, and JD Vance was talking about cat ladies, like these women don't have children. So I was like, and yeah, and like Kash Patel isn't, from what I know, he doesn't have kids. I don't think he's married, either or. And Tulsi Gabbard, I know she's not Indian, but I don't think she has kids. Anyways, so it's just interesting. So my point of that was that as a mother, like the idea of mother, like people always think like pregnancy and birth, but it's like nurturing and self-nurturing, as these can be representative of different stages of your own life. And so I think a lot of people, especially women or people who identify as women, don't feel seen if they're not kind of going through the stages of life that traditionally a lot of people may have gone through, or was more acceptable, and the people who didn't go through those stages in the world were just ignored. Anyways, this video is almost it's over 18 minutes for 3 cards. I hope y'all are doing well, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.